All right, here we are. The long awaited, by me anyway, 6mm arc competition build. Um, been shooting PRS now going on my third year. Kind of telling a story a little bit about why I even started going to 6 arc here. Whenever I started out, give or take 2 years ago, I had all these thoughts about what I wanted to build. You're new to the sport. What do you want to build? What kind of competition setup do you want to build? What do you want to do? And the 6 arc was just coming out. It was just starting to get popular, starting to get some traction. So I was going to all the people that kind of mentored me and said, how can I get into this? What do I want to shoot? And I was really interested in the 6mm arc, but there just wasn't a whole lot of information out there with bolt guns. There wasn't really that much. So my mentors, which by the way, was the right direction. They shot me over like, hey, you need to get an impact action. You need to get a 6mm dasher and start running that. So I did, and I've been running that basically ever since I got into PRS. Had some really good success with it. I think I'm on an up and coming track here, so I'm not too concerned about that. But in the back of my mind, I was always like, that 6mm arc is a really interesting kind of thing. So finally got some extra PRS budget laying around, so I figured I'd go ahead and do a completely separate build. So now that we talked about the why, let's talk about the what. So completely separate build. So normally I shoot a dasher on an impact action, but I'm a left-handed shooter, as you can see. Impact just does not have left-handed arc bolts, unfortunately. I got one on order, but God only knows when I'm going to get it. Tate, if you're watching this, please make my bolt. So what I ended up doing to have to do this, I actually had to go to a completely separate action. So what we're looking at here, the heart of this, is a Terminus Zeus with the quick change feature. Got it with the, obviously the arc bolt built in. Running on the MDT ACC Elite chassis. I pulled my scope off of my dasher, so this is a Zico 8-40. Great configuration there. I am running, this is new to me, I've never shot it, but this is a Krieger 125 straight in 26-inch. This is actually cut by Vital Precision. I ordered the reamer for it. It's an alpha reamer, the whole 9 yards. So I'm really excited to see how this shoots. This is the first kind of like really competition bolt gun that I've seen kind of in the mix. Muzzle device, I shoot the Boss Top Shot. Weird story how I got there. If you guys have seen some of my other videos, I did a lot of muzzle brake testing. I tested almost every brake in the market, and in the end, I think I kind of landed on my favorite was the DN5 from Masterpiece Arms. Fantastic muzzle brake, does everything you want it to do. It is concussive, but it's not as bad as some of the others on the market. But then I was at, I shot Collis last year and I shot Gap Grind last year, and Boss ran a stage at each one of those, and they were just talking about it. And it got to a point where I was really testing some of the other muzzle brakes, specifically the Chad. Man, I'd take that to a 2-day match and I'd have a ringing headache at the end of it. So I just started getting too much concussion. So I said, you know what? I'm at the match. They had a special where you could order these for $200 off. So I ordered a Top Shot. Been loving it ever since. You'd have to go to their website to find out more about it, but the Top Shot, it's kind of like a flow through. It moves more gas because the muzzle brake is actually designed to where the ports are bigger on the top versus bottom, so it helps drive the muzzle down. So been really happy with it. It does have a little bit more push than a muzzle brake, but yeah, we'll see. So what are we doing today? I'm here breaking in a barrel. Literally never shot a 6 arc. I have a bolt gun. So I'm going to break in the barrel today. So I think what we're going to do is I got to get her bore sighted, make sure she's good. Then what my break-in process is going to be is something a little bit different. Normally I don't break in. Normally I shoot 5 shots, clean it, and then just shoot it. But what I'm going to do, Gunsmith recommended that I do 5 shots clean, 5 shots clean, and then kind of shoot it like normal. So what I'm going to do is take you along on the journey. So I'm going to do some small groups to start with, just to kind of see how the precision is going to be working, and then you'll have the trigger cam. So this, I'm sorry, scope mate. So this is the scope mate S28, so it's 1 in 4K. Still trying to play around with it, but what I'll do is I'll take it down there. We'll shoot some groups with it. You'll see as it comes along. So I think I'll shoot the 5-shot group, the 5-shot group, then I'll shoot a 10-shot group, and we'll see exactly what that's ringing on paper, exactly what it's looking like as my first shots are coming down out of the gun. Then what I'm going to do, because I'm at Gravestone Precision, what I'm going to do is I'm going to basically shoot the same 1-day match that they had here. So it was 9 stages. I'm going to go through, rebuild all the stages here, and go shoot. That way you guys can kind of see as I'm shooting. And then the idea is whenever I get to about 100 rounds or so, I'm going to clean it, go back to the zero board, shoot another 100-shot group, because I think it'll be interesting to see how the group sizes go from the beginning to right about in the middle of the break-in process. Then after we get that group, we see how that's looking. Then I'm going to go right back shooting stages. And when I get to about the 200 mark, then I'm going to go ahead and shoot the last group of that and saying, okay, that should be about broken in. We'll be tracking speeds with the Garmin. Then after that, what I do have is I do have some rounds loaded up that is going to be kind of like my test rounds. So with that being said, let's shut her down. I'm going to get her bore sighted, and then we're going to go back to, up to the zero line, and we'll see how she shoots in groups first starts. Super excited. All right, here we go. We're at the zero line. Got my board set up. I'm going to try something new because I got the trigger. I got my GoPro down there, so I'm going to record the target. First one is we're just got a board down there, as you guys will see. I just put something in the middle, that way I can kind of get to my zero. Ammo we're going to be shooting is Alpha Brass CCI 450 primers, Berger 105 hybrid bullets with an arbitrary load of Reloader 15 just to start getting it up. Based on what I'm looking at right now through Gordon's reloading tool, I've got 27 grains of Reloader 15, which should put me around 54 to 55,000 PSI. Plenty enough to be able to get enough pressure to fire form and that kind of stuff. So good components, good chambering. Let's see how she does. I'm so nervous right now. 2 years in the making. Let's see how it does. By the way, I shoot everything modified prone. I try not to do sitting at the either prone or modified prone. I try not to go all the way down. I'm not expecting my first shot to track with everything else just because nothing's been shot out of this bore, right? So let's see how she does. I'm sitting on about 28 power or so, which should be about right. Level good. Here we go. Jesus. Okay, less recoil than I even thought, but okay. Not bad board. Super slow, 2560, but enough for break-in. So probably asking why Reloader 15. It's not the powder I'm going to use. It's going to be a super slow powder, comparably speaking. But I had a pound of it sitting around. That's enough because these are only 27 grains per cartridge. That's enough to get all of it loaded up. That way we can do break-in. Speeds are kind of atrocious, around 25, 80 or something like that. We'll see how she speeds up over time. All right, I know some people are going to ask, what's my cleaning protocol? It's not much, if I'm being honest with you. Obviously, cheek piece off, bolt out, bore guide, which is very, very necessary. I don't care what anybody says. I like this one. It's for the 6 arc, 6 PPC, which is great. And then all I do is I'm going to run 2 or 3 patches of Vortex down it, let it sit for about 3 to 5 minutes or so. Then with an ISO, the blue brush, nylon brush, I'm going to scrub it and then put more Vortex eliminator down it, clean it out, then run alcohol and clean it out. And that's kind of what I'm going to do between strings. What I do for every 300 rounds or so, that's whenever I really let it soak and scrub it out. You know what I mean? But this is basically all I do for a cleaning, let's say between matches, like between a first and second day of a pro match or something like that. maybe 3 patches of eliminator down it, let it soak, scrub it with IOSO, some more eliminator down it to get everything out, then alcohol it out and call it a day. So, all right, let me get this down and we'll get going again. So this is one of my favorite targets. I'll be aiming for the middle of, you guys will see the black dot right there, and I want it to hit in the middle of that circle, so that means I need to go 3/10 up. That way it doesn't disturb our aiming spot, you know what I mean? All right, so here we go. Second 5-shot group. Good EPA, settle in the bag. 3/10 up, we should be in the middle of that square, hopefully. We're going for a 10-shot group this time. Tell you what, you YouTubers who do this for a living, I don't see how you do it. This is annoying. Setting up, moving, doing everything else. Just shoot. Jesus. Anyway, I thought this would be interesting to film those. So here we go. 10-round group. All right, 2588, so she's speeding up a little bit. These are high at 12 because of speed variations. That is one of the worst groups I've ever seen. Awesome. All right, pick up the brass, we'll look at it, and then I want to, actually, I'm not going to clean and shoot again. We're just going to go shoot it. Let's get to some fun stuff. How about that? All right, here we go. 10-shot group of varget. Barrel should be fully broken in. Not a great group, but it is what it is. Speed 27.32 at 5.4 standard deviation. All right, first 5-shot group of N540 after the barrel's broke in. Be on the bottom left of the target. Attaboy 540. 2741, 7.2 SD. Go 10-shot group with N540. I'm leaving the chrono running, so we're just gonna get about a 25-shot average with this lower powder charge. So this is 27.5 of N540, which I think by coordinates is putting me at about 96% case fill. So I still got some room to go. 5-shot gave me 27.40 average. Let's see what putting 10 more through gets us. All right, speeds have increased 27.49 with the 8.7 standard deviation. Tells me maybe the barrel's not completely done speeding up. She's got just right at 200 grams, so she might still speed up a little bit. But not a fantastic group, but let's go check and see what it looks like. All right, last group of the day. Still shooting 27.5 N540. It's my last 10 rounds that I've got, which put me at about 230 rounds on the barrel total, maybe. I'll have to do the math. Right now, speeds out of this is 27.49 with an 8.7 SD. I'm gonna shoot this, see what she does. Barrel got cleaned about 100 rounds ago, so she should be plenty fouled in. So let's just see what she does now. Not great, not horrible. Speeds barely went up. Average speed 27.52. Standard deviation of 8.8. You get the target, and then I'll kind of sit down and do a debrief with you guys. All right. Let's see. Been a long day. Got out here at 9:30 a.m. or something like that. It is now almost 4 p.m. I've got right at 230-ish rounds out of the gun. Let me give you my first impressions of 6 ARC and a bolt gun. recoil is super soft. Hopefully I'll be able to string in a couple of my practice stages here and let you guys see what the recoil looks like. Super soft, easy to see everything. Group size is, if I take all 3 groups that I did within 540, average them out, I mean, it's less than 0.6 inch. So it's right at just over a half MOA gun for 25 shots, which seems pretty impressive. SDs is 8.8. Still got a lot of tweaking I think I can do, because within 540, I'm only at about 96% case capacity. And right now I'm jumping my burgers 20 thou off. So I'm liking it, man. It's shooting good. It feels good. Recoil is good. I think I can put some more powder in it, get the speeds up closer to that 2800 where I run my dasher. But yeah, it's been a super exciting kind of experience with it so far. I'll get this thing uploaded and then be on the lookout, because I'm probably gonna do another little thing about where I'm trying to do the powder testing, seating depth testing, see where I can get this thing and see where I can get it humming, because I think this thing has some really good potential. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed kind of this overall thing. I just don't see that much talked about 6mm arc in a bolt gun, so I wanted to do it, and I can tell you right now, pretty impressed. It's not too bad. Be on the lookout for the next videos coming up as I try to get this thing really dialed in. Thanks for watching, guys.